Just closing up very quickly. 20 bucks to get your bike in the show. We're here with Mr. Nowaski, Pistol Pete from Nowaski Extreme Performance and Pistol Pete's Custom Cycles in Menominee, Wisconsin. How are you today?
I'm doing good. It's a beautiful day. A lot of people here and a lot of cool bikes.
So you have a lot of things going on right now. You have a corporate rebrand, and we won't spend too much time on that because you are going to take to market an entirely different new way to do suspension. But let's talk about this bike that's right in front of us. This is a legit Bagger Racing League Pro GP Bagger.
Yes, it is. So that's our Bagger GP Unlimited class bike. 107 turbo motor. No expense spared on this one.
So let's talk a little bit about the bike, doing kind of a virtual walk around. You've got some proprietary one-off parts that you guys have found out through research and development, which you guys have done a lot of that for an independent team. You guys have probably done more R&D than some of the pro teams because you felt like that was the leg up that you needed, and you're fielding two bikes. So you have King Nothing, you're doing research and development on at local tracks, and you're running that in the Bagger GP class, correct?
Pro stock.
Bagger Pro Stock. Okay, very good. That's the Pro Stock bike. So you're taking information you learned from racing this, applying it to the Pro bike with the turbo. What have you learned riding this bike in stock street tires and your special suspension stuff? But this thing is done in street trim. You ride this on the street, don't you?
Yeah, so King Nothing is a super fun street bike that we can race. Here's the advantage. By running the Pro Stock class, our rider can get feedback on suspension setups and track conditions and stuff, so that by the time he gets on the GP bike, we already kind of know what's going on out there. So it's kind of our lead-in to get the big bike set up properly. So yes, we've done a lot of R&D on the suspension components here. We have our own triple trees, axles, rock guards, radial brake components. We've also done a lot of work with Trash Performance to develop some one-off parts for the primary and other things like that. So yeah, we're working with different people on different angles to try to come up with the absolute best combination.
So when you go out to the BRL and you sign up for the Pro class, being an independent, you are at several disadvantages. Obviously, you don't have the big deep pockets that some of the bigger teams that are a little bit better funded. And you went ahead and handicapped yourself right out of the gate, some would say, by putting a turbo on there. What kind of barriers to entry do you have in the competitive field when you are putting a turbo on a bike?
So first of all, we're limited to smaller displacement. So our 107, we're competing against 131s. But the turbo is an advantage for making power. It's just a lot to put together because this big power system for racing didn't exist until this came around, and R&D as well to see what's going to work and work the best. Myself and Nick Trask are the only two teams running turbos, so we just have some more challenges in tuning and dialing stuff in, I guess. But we have, in the end, a huge power advantage compared to the truck.
So the Bagger Racing League, for those of you who don't know, they had their first event went off, the inaugural Battle of the Baggers at the Utah Motorsports Complex. You guys didn't finish with the pro bike, unfortunately. Found some gremlins. You did finish in the class with King Nothing. You're in place
6th. So this bike, we started and finished. We held our own. But remember that King Nothing has floorboards on it yet, and stock bike suspension. So the fact that we went out there and held our own, we felt was pretty good. So we already know that we're just going to do a few little changes to make it more competitive for the next time around. But hey, it's a never-ending process. You got to see what works and what doesn't work. And even if you know something might not work, you need to just get out there and try it and figure out exactly why or what the disadvantages are so you can properly change it and make it better. So I'm okay with working through all that kind of stuff. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, racing is a wash, rinse, break, repeat, right? You're trying to push things as hard as you can. Everybody look at this King Nothing bike. It's got a small rear tire too, so that means it's an 08 and down bagger.
Yes.
Right? And you originally were going to build this for the hardcore cycles small tire bagger build off, but that has a budget of $15,000 worth of use. exceeded that a little bit.
Yeah, we exceeded that by a lot. It started with good intentions, but as it started to come together, see, I have this disease that won't allow me to do anything other than like the best or or perfect or the best that it could possibly be. So I couldn't stay within budget because it was just in me to make it better and like finish it out like I thought it should be, which is how it is. So what's amazing too is that this is an MU85 16 rear tire on this bike and a 19-inch front. These are Metzler Cruise Techs. So take a look at the tires. I think it's pretty awesome that we're even racing on that. So
those are Metzler Cruise Techs. And so listen, I don't want to belabor it too much, but you had a rebranding prior to Sturgis. Anything you can tell us about that?
Well, Pistol Beats Custom Cycles has been in existence for 17 years. And I just decided it was time for a change. We're releasing a full line of our own products this fall. We wanted to rebrand for that, something a little more grown up and sophisticated, something that we can move forward the next 17 years with. So I hired some people that are way smarter than me to work with and tell me what the heck I should do in rebranding. I tell you what, it's quite a process. So, but we're excited. We're having fun.
You did a hell of a job. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate all that you do for the sport. And thank you for all your support with Tour Magazine. And go follow Pistol Beats Custom Cycles for the time being on Instagram. And then the new launch will be, you're watching it happen live here in Sturgis for the 81st running Black Hills Motorcycle Classic Live from the Sturgis Buffalo Chip. I'm Jason from Tour Performance Television here with Pistol Pete and Nowoski.